Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome to another Supreme Commander Epic. That's right, it's that time of the month when replays not necessarily last a little bit longer, although that's often the case, but they certainly incorporate all of the toys, the fun things that we don't get to see in the average game. So exciting stuff. Looking forward to that. It's going to be custom 7v7 with an eclectic mix of Joes and pros, favoring the pros slightly as the average rating for both teams is over the 1500 threshold. First of all, though, Rowie has got in touch from the FAF promotional team to let me know that the new balance patch, which is supposed to be applied to the main FAF mod sometime in September. He was a little bit nondescript on that front. I don't think they know exactly when that's going live yet. First of all, though, it's probably contingent on the fact that they need bug testers, so he wants as many people as possible to get their chums together, do their little bit of national service, assuming your nation is FAF, and why wouldn't it be, get together and do some serious bug hunting, you know, set up a game on the FAF beta tab, and any strange things that don't belong there, like little blue men running across the landscape with orange turbans, anything out of place like that, you let them know in the Discord, or indeed the appropriate bug selection, bug reporting sections of the forum. You will be doing everybody a great service. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get on with today's game. As we said, custom 7v7 going down on Adaptive Gap of Plateau, which I believe might be a first for us. Exciting stuff. We'll check it out and all the rest in the upcoming. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Ching. Ka-ching. Alright, it's all very standard on the team location front. This is team 1 up here at the top. And this is Team 2 down here at the bottom. Incidentally, I'm still recovering from whatever chesty issue has befallen my family, so if I'm still sounding a little bit mucousy, a little bit like a mucoid, then I apologize in advance. Anyway, going first for Team 1, rearguard air position. Excuse me, if there is such a thing. It's Motulal. Motulal. There he is, and he is going Seraphim in mellow yellow, opening first land. Next up over here to his south, we'll go team member number 2. It's Peepudur. Peepudur. Interesting. Going Cyber and Bless him in baby pink, and he's opening first land. Team member number 3 up here in Cyanide Cyan. It is Archsim Cat going Aeon. He's opening first air. Team member number 4 back to the middle. In Elephantine Grey, it's UEF, so all the races represented already. That's all very nice and pluralistic. Here he is. It's Heya 19. He's opening first land. And next up, team member number 5 down here. It's Storm Before Dawn. Another Cybrin. He's going Combat Green, opening first land. Team member number 6 over here, moving on his way towards the center already in electric blue. It's Castaway, and I just have to make sure, actually, I'll check my volume mix in seconds because the sounds sound a little bit low on FAF. There we go, that's a bit better. Anyway, he is going Aeon in electric blue, as we said. Slowing this up so the game doesn't get ahead of me or away from me, and he's opening first land. In fact, we've already got a T1 bomb rat, so we're going to slow this right down. We don't want to miss a thing. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have Korn. He is going Pontiff White, another Aeon there, opening first land, going second air. So that looks like 3 Aeon, 2 Cybrin, a UEF and a Seraphim there for Team 1. I hope I got that right. So that a bit quickly, didn't check properly. Anyway, going for Team 2, rearguard air position. If there is such a thing, it's my good friend GFY Depony going his very customary Hallyborange Orange, going first land, second air. Team member number 2 in what only can be described as Dijon Yellow. I think that's our Dijon Yellow. It's LCR going Cybrin, opening first land. Team member number 3 in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink. It's Battle Moose, definitely the winner of this week's Amusing Name Award. He is going UEF, opening first and second land. Over towards the middle, going Cybrin, completely left his base already. Where has he gone? Up towards the middle. There he is. It's an old returning favorite, and when I say favorite, not favorite at all, because I can't stand having to try and pronounce that name. It's Alignagio Bikikiriaj. I mean, that's definitely not how that's said, but that's how it's said here at Guilecast. We refer to him as Aleg, because otherwise it's just too exhausting. There he is, going a baby blue. He's opened first land. Next up over here to the north, has also left his base and is also on his way to the middle. It's Nightly. That's a much more pleasant word to say. In Ferrari red there, going Cybrin, opening first land. Team member number 6 there for Team 2 on the way to the middle. It's Vodka 447. He's going Aeon in this season's very fashionable and fabulous Vivacious Violet, opening first land, going second air. And last but not least, over here in lurid green, it's Flatbread Jesus. Everyone loves flatbread, even Jesus. There he is, and he's gone UEF, opening first and second land. So there we have it. Team 2 consists of 3 UEF, I think that's fair to say. 3 UEF, 2 Cybrin, and a single Aeon. I think I've got that right, but we can't always be too sure. We will just take a quick look at all of the reclaim, because I know you guys love to check out where the reclaim hotspots are on maps like these. It's pretty well comprehensively littered all around the map, but obviously a very strong vein right the way down the center, in which obviously will be no man's land, the major area separating these two teams. Lots and lots of canyons, lots and lots of rocks and reclaims to be had. This will be a major impediment for each team to get past the places, the nooks and crannies to hide your comm behind, to get out of trouble. It's going to be an interesting tussle in the middle for sure. All right, let's speed this up as the first harassing unit crosses the threshold there, and it's from ArchSimCat, the top-rated player of not just Team 1, but also the entire game at 2,000 there. Expect big things from him. Bombs away, manages to pick up an engineer kill against Knightley as he breaches into the base. Gets a second bomb away, kills another engineer before moving on towards Aleg's base. Gets another kill there. 3 kills now to that bomber's name. Looked like he was going in, had a perfect bombing opportunity there. We already have Sky Slammers, though, arriving on the scene there from Knightley. Does get a bomb away in the center of Flatbread Jesus' base. Picks up another 3 engineer kills there. That's 6 dead engineers to that one T1 bomber. That's definitely paid for itself, and he's still going. Importantly, he's down to about 40% or so of his health. Gets another bomb away, but somehow manages to stuff that one up. Doesn't manage to land flushly on top of the engineer. Eventually, though, the second attempt does prove successful. Finally, we have a defending interceptor arriving on the scene there from Battle Moose, and he manages to tidy up the situation, but it's all kicking off in the middle as the ACUs all get together for a giant cannon party. Castaway going 2v1 over on the left. Aleg facing 2v1 on the right. Who is going to get the better run of the reclaim? Team 2 are up about 2k in total mass accrued overall. Most of that will surely be reclaim related. Aleg looking like he's in a little spot of bother here, about to drop sub 4,000. Here 19 easing off the pressure for a moment to scoop a little bit more mass. Knightley focusing on Heya, Storm Before Dawn and Castaway zeroing in on Knightley. Aleg is probably going to have to keep retreating here potentially, as he's down to almost 3,000 hit points now. Knightley threw down a land factory briefly, trying to impede the progress of Storm Before Dawn, who is really pressing here. But that might be the end of it, as it looks like ACUs from Team 2 are at least going to yield the middle, although most of the mass has been scooped up. You have these little rocks here and there. Look, just 28 mass remaining. There are, of course, these more important pockets over here with larger rocks that were still to pick up. Let's enable mini-map, because let's face it, I need all the help I can get, especially with 14-man games such as this one. Remember those old FAF games, or sorry, old FA games before they introduced 7- and 8-man team support. Feels like an age ago. If you're still playing on Steam, of course, though, that probably is very familiar. In fact, it might have been only 4v4. Might have been the maximum number of players. Answers in the comments section or on a postcard if you know the answer to that one. That's how long it's been since I played the base game on Steam. And while you're down there, shove a like on the video. Each like reduces the receding hairline for my stress levels. Scientifically proven to be the best anti-hair loss strategy. LCR absorbing a little bit of air pressure there from Castaway, a single T1 bomber, which wisely reacquires a more vulnerable target there. Picks up an engineer kill off Knightley. Knightley bearing a brunt of a lot of these attacks so far. It's all been Team 1 up in the middle in the early game. Alec over here, once again getting himself in a bit of com-on-com action. Doesn't really want to be facing down Mochilal, a completely healthy commander, versus his badly battered Cybran one. He has repped up a little bit from the last time we saw him, back up to about 4,100 hit points. We're starting to see forward pressure at the flanks on both sides from Team 1. LCR looking to shut this little run-by attempt down with his commander. Good situational awareness, prevents those Auroras from getting in around the back and down to his main base. We've also got a small band of T1 lurking over here from Peepadur. A few Mantis hold up in the tree line there. But Flatbread Jesus nearly done on a gun upgrade. Assuming he keeps the comm around down here. That will be strong enough to ward off any pressure. And indeed, he is going to redirect. It looked like he thought he was going into the center. Or maybe not. No, he's going to send the ground spam to deal with that. He hasn't got a great deal of vulnerable units down here. One engineer left. So he can afford to shadow that with T1 bombers. Wants to get his comm more or less central, I would imagine, with the gun upgrade and bring it to bear on Team 1's commanders, although they've all dropped back somewhat. Storm, interesting, reclaiming a Cerberus point defense. Wants to obviously put that mass to use elsewhere. Gun upgrade on the way for Mochilal. It's about that time we see all of the comm upgrades poking their heads up across the map. Knightley advancing on Khorne now. ACU taking the brunt of the inbound fire, but he has got a large contingent of Mantis, and he's got some more moving in to assist as well from his teammate LCR. Khorne not letting up though, as Knightley drops back with his commander. It's Mantis swatting time. Says thank you for the free progress towards my next rank in veterancy. Very much appreciated. Game quality we never mentioned, incidentally, at 93%. So we're very comfortable with the game balance between these two teams. Mochilal coming towards the end of that gun upgrade. Just in time as Vodka shows up with his comm. He hasn't gone for double gun comm. He's gone for one, and then what is the other one there? I do forget my Aeon symbols. It is the enhanced sensor system, so you can actually see. Check out that field of view that that commander has got. Mochilal absorbing some fire now as Vodka and Jesus advance on his position. Storm before dawn. Erecting new Cerberus turrets. It does make me wonder why he bothered to reclaim that last one if he was just going to build more, but obviously he needed the mass. Perhaps for some mass pump upgrades. Mass extractor upgrades, I should say. Comm over here now with some mobile shield coverage from Castaway. Gun upgrade for Heya 19. 40% done there. Check this out though. Mochilal advancing on Jesus, who's in a very bad way. Like he's had a bad run-in with some angry Romans. Mochilal on about 7,000 hit points. Vodka continuing to shadow him with his comm, and he's got a couple of parashields moving in, or asylum, sorry. And that's not great. Jester moving in to attack, but he's got some defending interceptors there from Arch. Shoot that gunship down and afford him a route to safety. Back over here in the west, a ill-advised probing attack from Khorne, unless he's trying to draw all of this out so he can counter with this in a different direction. I mean, if that works, then it was very well advised instead. Storm before dawn with quite the little fire base up here now, although inbound fire currently being blocked by that small canyon wall there. Peepadur and Mochilal on the warpath. Vodka in full retreat. Nano repair upgrade on the way for Jesus. I mean, I could go into the analogies about resurrection, but I think I'll leave the Jesus analogies for the day, lest I incur the wrath of the evangelists in the comments, much like I incurred the wrath of people with my comments on Afghanistan last time round. I tried to keep the politics out of it, but it's not always easy, especially when there's big events in the world. Some quite strong feelings as well about brown rice. I had my own feelings about brown rice when I heard that that has the highest arsenic content. And yes, there's lots of arsenic in rice. That is a real thing. You guys want to watch out for that if you eat a lot of it. Always rinse your rice off. Anyway, back to the game. Jesus and Vodka valiantly trying to defend a Tech 2 land factory, but Peepadur managing to scalp that before backing off slightly. Interceptors tangling above this whole scene, trying to get some kind of gauge on which team has the air advantage. It looks like it might be Team 1. 15 interceptors for Mochilal. Is Deponi running the show for air power? We haven't seen a lot of him elsewhere. He has made the transition already to T3 air, so I just think he's not really bothering with T1 interceptors too much, and he's now pumping out ASFs. He's just gone straight for T3. We are already at T3 as well for Mochilal. Doesn't take long, sub 14 minutes still. Jesus with that nano repair. Just about enough regen to keep him in it. Hello. Broadsword shows up on the scene, goes straight after Mochilal, who is in the red already. 2,500 hit points there. Interceptors move in to try and take the broadsword down. Broadsword about to go into the red. He moves to evac that gunship, but he doesn't make it out of there. Mochilal takes it down. It does cost him all of those interceptors, but they're defunct T1 technology anyway. And now, looks like Peepadur and Mochilal might have to back up. See, that's the thing. He's running the show for the air game from Team 1, but he's still using his comm offensively, and that's given them a bit of an advantage down there. Deponi electing to keep his comm in the main base instead, though, which will have helped his development. Khorne embattled with LCR and Knightley up here on the northwestern corner. What a royal mess this is, and Korn could be in trouble here as he gets absolutely mobbed by LCR's T1 spam. Knightley and LCR nearby as well, if they both decide to focus in with their comms, and a broadsword shows up as well from Battle Moose. I think we might see our first ejection here. He gets a quality rank in vet at a clutch time, but it's not going to be enough. Boom, baby! 15 minutes and 37 seconds. We have our first ejection, and it's Knightley that scores the final killing blow and gets the extra points. Full share not on today, so no fairies have to die in agony. I'm always pleased to see that. Newcomers are always like, what is this thing about the fairies? I don't get it. It's just a thing I say. It's another way to reference the fact that I prefer games that don't have full share on, where everybody's stuff immediately gets transferred to another one of their players. I do like the assassination mode. I think it's right if you manage to pick a player off that all of their stuff should go poof too. That's right, I said poof. Deal with it. I can pretend that's an explosion sound from the 1960s. Something out of a Batman comic. And now we're entering a phase of the game where the offensive action starts to wane. Well, Knightley disagrees, advancing with his comm with absolutely zero protection just to try and take down some of these defensive emplacements up here belonging to Heya 19. Heya's going to bring his commander and what assorted T1 and T2 spam he has to bear to try and defend these last emplacements. As one badly damaged triad and a buzzkill. Knightley says, I didn't really want to hang about. I'm happy to drop back, but check it out. We got some T3 land on the scene from Castaway, who is advancing with his harbingers up through this northwesterly canyon. Are we going to have to see some more gunship presence? In fact, I'm not seeing as many from Battle Moose. There is another one. He is working on them intermittently, it would seem. Has got two more over here as well. Vodka 447 strutting his stuff in the backfield, going for a stroll through his teammate's base. Well, why not? It's not like there's a war on. After seeing the first ejection, this is the phase of the game where I would start to get nervous about having my commander exposed. He has got some bangers with him though, so there's not going to be any sudden gunship rush, which is going to pick him off out of the game. Ooh, Aleg has been working on a nuke. Where is he? He's baby blue. He says it's been scouted, and in fact that nuke launcher very nearly done. And you can see into team chat talking about it, so they have scouted it and of course noticed it, which is the other half of that equation. There's no good just revealing it if no one actually notices it on the tactical map. Gunships wailing away on Heya 19, who promptly gets to work on some T1 railguns to shoot those puppies down. Some ASFs from Aleg going after some restorers of Arch. Nigh on impossible to see who has the shifting advantage currently in air dominance. So many different players producing air units. We're still getting T1 interceptors produced out here from Mochilal. Interesting decision on that front. They You can see the commitment now to anti-nuke technology, one operational strategic missile defense, and all of the engineers in the world trying to get that missile loaded before Team 2's nuke is ready. You can see the boundary of what that's protecting. Probably not going to protect a nuke that's going to possibly skirt through there to Pipadeur. Assuming this is scouted as well. That's, again, an important facet, of course. But there is a lot of dedication to nuclear construction going on for Aleg. Tons of engineers focusing solely on the construction of that missile. Quantum Gateway up and running. 20 minutes down, we've got tech, T3 tech across the board. And starting to get the emergence of some standoff tactics and indeed some experimental construction on the way. So we're starting to reach the late game phase where all of the big boys and the big toys come into play. Presumably that's going to be teched up to an Omni. Be a nice place for it, in behind that little canyon wall. T3 upgrade on the way for Deponi. 50% done there, and we haven't actually spoken much about the eco side of things because the first portion of this game was so busy. But overall eco, it's very, very close in terms of total mass accrued. At the moment, a very modest 4k advantage, maybe 3.5k advantage for Team 1. But that is nothing. In fact, that is currently ebbing away as Team 2 beginning to catch up. It's now a 1k advantage, so very little in it between these two teams, despite the fact, of course, we've had an ejection there from Korn. That will be fudging these numbers somewhat, as of course mass that was already harvested is reacquired through reclaim. How about generated mass? Well, that's definitely favoring Team 2, probably because of the ejection of Korn. We're at 1.2 versus about 1k, there or thereabouts. That is a big advantage for Team 2, who really scored a nice kill up there with Korn overextending. And there was a lot of pressure, remember, coming down from Team 1. We had early bombers. They definitely won the game, the ground game in the middle. We had run-by attempts on both sides of the map simultaneously almost. Team 2, though, have held nicely and are currently in the ascendancy. Little Harbinger attack over in the west, along with a couple of sniper bots. Interestingly, they haven't managed to oust this position. There are some defensive emplacements here. 3 Cerberus turrets. Looks like they've taken down 1 T1 point defense and a few other units, but now we're starting to see some T3 armored assault bots there. Some bricks showing up. That will no longer be an easy win up on that top left-hand side for Team 1. Everybody now working on upping their production of power. Now, where's this experimental going? Has it been scouted? There's certainly attack pings going down. Let me see if... yeah, you can see the ping that's gone down there of the monkey from Team 2's perspective. So it's definitely been scouted, so there's going to be no surprise attack inbound from this side. Percival's lying in wait down here. He's trying to work on more shield coverage, although that's getting bombarded long range by a trebuchet. So that will have softened up a little bit, but he's not going hell for leather with this thing. He's stopping repeatedly to try and keep an advance going along with his spam. I say better to punch a hole with this thing and let the spam follow in afterwards, just giving more time for Team 2 to amass Percy's, but there we go. The forward shield collapses immediately. A couple of bricks show up as well from Knightley to reinforce this position. Jesus now with a personal shield on board that commander, upgraded gun, and of course the aforementioned nano repair. It's a pretty chunky commander right there. Would have liked to have been able to finish that shield gem, but alas, it wasn't to be. Several Percivals going down to that whopping microwave laser as he homes in on the commander. Flatbread Jesus' shield disappears, but so does the hit points on the Monkey Lord. And he wins out with a comfortable 11,500 hit points to spare, and then starts to back off. In come the gunships. That might have been a nice opportunity for the Restorers there to finish him off, but there's just too much defensive air coverage there from Battle Moose and from Alleg. Lots of ASFs, and of course from Deponi. In fact, all of the ASFs, barring those escort ones from Arch, belong to Team 2. So there was absolutely no prospect of a gunship breakthrough there to finish off Jesus. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Lots and lots of mass fab farms going up for Deponi over here. That is quite the template he's building. But bit by bit after these attacks, Team 1 chipping away. Interestingly, have they already scooped the mass from that Monkey Lord? We have got a support commander here, so potentially that will have been a lovely little mass dump for them. Something that Team 2 don't actually need, as they comfortably in the lead now. 1 million mass versus 932,000 or so. Restorers just patrolling that bottom corner of Team 1's territory. Team 2 happy to sit back and defend, not rushing in, not depositing any mass on their opponent's front lawn. Shield upgrade on the way there for Jesus. Colossus strutting his stuff over on the front line. Maybe he is going in for an attack now, Vodka. And this is a potentially vulnerable position. Might score himself a couple of factory kills, a perimeter monitoring station, and, crucially, an ion reactor. We do have a few loyalists in the odd brick up here. That, if anything, though, might save the day. The emergence of a fat boy rolling down there from Heya 19. Looks like it's either been scouted or he's just thought better of it. Bit of posturing never hurt anybody. Vodka not going for the easy massed gift option this Christmas. Oh, what have we got here? A little spy plane run up the top of the screen from Battle Moose. Got a couple of gunships lurking over here with a veritable horde of air superiority fighters. Is this them having a look about where to direct a nuke, I wonder? I'm sure that nuke is probably finished by now. It certainly is. In fact, they're about 60% done there on the way to the second nuke for Alleg, although that's not being prioritized as hard as it was before. And there it is. We have artillery on the way for Arch. What was that? That was a support commander going pop. Thought I missed something crucial there. Could have done, but it was probably one of Knightley's support commanders that just strolling a little too waywardly and carefree into the middle. Got himself picked off by a horde of Restorers. Never a good way to go. 60% done on a RAS upgrade for Knightley, who is really bringing in the bacon now at about 470, 480 mass. Aleg on about 460. Deponi on 420. And conversely, no one in the 400s on Team 1 yet. Do we have an attack brewing here? Or is he just looking to scalp another support commander? Decides better of it. A probing attack potentially on the cards. On this side of things. Castaway moves into range for the briefest of moments and then backs away. Maybe he saw the inbound Colossus there from Vodka, who's moved it all the way up from down here. Lots of experimentals being built now, but this could be crucial. Had a lovely little artillery base set up on the ridge here. Shielded miasmas that were able to fire down. Now getting Fat Boy fire, but they've managed to deplete the shields on the Fat Boy itself, but there are parashields coming in to protect it. That will be the end of that firebase. That's a nice little maneuver from Heya 19. Experimental completed from Deponi. What is it? It's a Novax. Satellite away and already traversing the map. Probably the best route for a rearguard air UEF player at this point. Oh dear. Flatbread in trouble. Shield on the commander completely depleted, as is the shield coverage on the main firebase. A few strap bombers harassing a group of Percys from Flatbread that have broken away. And they're going to get out just in time before Aleg tears them apart. This is nice, some artillery experimental play from Team 1, really paying dividends now as they harass that front line with relative impunity. What's Deponi going to focus on with his Novax? There are vulnerable mass points up here he could take out. He could focus on the main base. Lots of vulnerable quantum reactors in the main base of Arch. Always best to go after the power. If you're a newcomer and you're watching, it's going to help cripple your opponent's economy the best and the quickest. Lots of restorers bite the dust in that pass from Deponi, but Deponi suffers heavy losses as well on his way in, flying over the odd bouncer or two in this mix down here. But Flatbread, Jesus, just getting royally pummeled. Battle Moose completes an experimental as well. What was that? Is that another Novax potentially? Or no, it's a fatty of his own. Interestingly, the fatty up here belonging to Heya 19 has been picked off. I wonder by what. Must have missed that. And that persuades the crab of his teammate Storm Before Dawn to back up slightly as well. But look at this little bit of pressure up at the top of the screen. I say top, I mean just north of the middle. Lovely little breakthrough from Knightley and from LCR. Might be about to get shut down though. Restorers rolling in. They want to focus in on these T3 bouncers down here, the anti-air. Two Colossus move in to defend. A massive wave of Corsairs in from Aleg. Just chop that Colossus down, but there's still another one, and this one's really healthy. Moving in against the Megalith. And this should be the end of this incursion, surely, especially with all of these gunships lurking nearby. The bouncers have been eradicated. There is one more rolling in. They'll want to switch up onto that before they take too much extra damage from it. Excuse me. Trying my best not to splutter all the way through the cast. Down goes the Megalith, but the defending Colossus gets beaten down by the next Colossus moving in from Vodka. So amazingly, on the ground for the time being, Team 2 still hold the field at that position. It looked like they had been shut down, and there's not a great defensive group left to defend against that. It's going relatively unchallenged at the moment. Team 1 probably going to need to try and counter that with some air pressure. Wow. That nuke launcher now with 2 nukes in it hasn't fired a missile yet. Now under heavy bombardment from Tech 3 artillery. Seems to be emerging from over here, that disruptor fire. We did have another one under construction as well from Heya 19. I'm wondering if they're coordinating. Certainly looks that way. Whoa! Aleg taken out of the game by a T3 artillery shell. That could be huge. Look at all of the infrastructure go up in flames. I mean, I don't know what all that was, but there was a lot of it. But we're getting some counter pressure now. That fat boy we saw a moment ago from Battle Moose. What? Mochilau picked off by Deponi, presumably from the defense satellite. Wow. So a massive win with the destruction of Aleg immediately squandered as Mochilau picked off by Novak satellite, but now Deponi is going to have to hastily erect some shield defenses because he is under pressure now. He seems to be the next target for the long-range artillery. Unfortunately for them, Mochilau wasn't one of the owners, unless that is that a artillery piece, or is that a quantum gateway? I think that's a quantum gateway. Hard to tell. I should know my Seraphim Rex better by now. So there's at least 2 artillery pieces still raining fire down on Deponi's position up here at the back. They would love to pick off these Novak satellites. He's working on a 3rd right now. If they can get those out of the game, they can ward off a repeat of that last ejection, that last loss they just suffered. Look at this cheeky little Rambo squad just strolling up and hoovering up mass that they have no earthly right to. And that Colossus that I thought had died some time ago actually breached all the way up and made it right to the front of Castaway's base before finally getting taken down. Castaway now the unfortunate recipient of 2 Novak satellites. Seems to be the priority target, although they look like they're shifting now. So there was 2 nukes wasted there, never got fired. When I think, as we mentioned at the beginning, even though there was that anti-nuke put up in the middle here, they could have sneaked one through and taken out Peepadur. But Peepadur now has his own anti-nuke loaded. So much mobile shield coverage around that fat boy. That's outrageous. Do you think he wants to keep his fat boy safe? Is that what you're garnering from this? And another experimental satellite completes. They've so far been unsuccessful in breaching this new selection of shields which Deponi has rapidly thrown up. Another Colossus from Castaway, just roaming the field, withdrawing slightly from a very nasty incursion. That's a lot of support commanders. What preset are they? They are RAS preset, so resource producing support commanders, not the higher damage Rambo preset selection.
Strategic launch detected.
And finally we have a nuke out, and it's from Archsim Cat up at the backfield, who's working on more artillery pieces. As some strap bombers roll in from Deponi to try and help deplete the shield and get some of that Novax fire through to that artillery emplacement underneath that shield coverage. Oh man, there's no defensive anti-nuke, and LCR's comms right there. Boom, baby! Oh man, that's a colossal fail. LCR out of the game. What is that now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is now a 5v5. They've leveled the match with that kill, which just didn't need to happen. Just needed an anti-nuke, which by this time you really should have up and running at almost 40 minutes into the game. Amazingly, another Colossus from Vodka breaches deep into Team 1's territory. I don't think it's going to get anything too sensitive. It's all sparsely populated stuff over here. He has picked off 4 mass points. They will have been at T2 at least. So that will have been a painful loss. More strats working on the shield coverage, this time over Castaway's base, as Deponi searches for a chink in the defenses here. Gave up pressure over here, has moved on to Castaway. Castaway potentially a little bit vulnerable here. He's outside shield coverage as well. Don't stand next to that when that's about to go pop. Oh, too chill for school. Look at that. I don't have to worry about volatile explosions. I'll reclaim it. That prevents explosions. Super chill. Two megaliths inbound. This is a wonderful bit of pressure from Knightley. 3 megaliths on the ground, lots of support commanders. They're building up batteries of Gunthers back here. We've got SAMs, we've got lots of T3 mobile anti-air helping to keep these big boys safe. The lead crab not faring so well, getting double laser faced from these 2 Colossus here, but the first one does get taken out. Probably worth sticking around to put as much damage out as possible though, and indeed he does. First megalith down. Deponi helps out a little bit with his Novax before turning his attention to the fat boy from Castaway that's recently entered the fray. More strats inbound. I'm loving this combination pressure from Deponi. Bosh! Down goes the fatty. Castaway's exposed. He's got to get under shield coverage further back from his teammate's base. He's making a run for it. Less than 3,000 hit points. Is he going to make it? No! Deponi scalps Castaway at 41 minutes and 30 seconds. Are we now witnessing the full collapse from Team 1? That's going to give an even easier ride to the constant forward pressure that Knightley has been applying up on this section of the field. Restorers from Arch valiantly tickling away at the weaker of the two megaliths. The bouncers need to hurry up and help cover these megaliths, but they're struggling to keep up. They get into range, and so the restorers are recalled. We do have some defenses dotted around here defending the base. Heya 19 with several batteries worth of triads. They take down the lead one with the help of some Ravager turrets down here. Second one's hit points tumbling. He's also getting battered by miasma fire. Gets a rank in veterancy there as the shield is starting to collapse around Heya 19's base. Tumbling hit points on that megalith. The shield bases blink back on. Into the red now. Sub 10,000 hit points. And that's the end of that little threat. There is, of course, the matter of all these support commanders over here, which are seen to be setting up shop. And just like the Sky Slammers, I do forget that these guys, these bouncers, can target the air factories as well. Over here, look at that. They do prioritize the air vehicles though when they come into range. And we've got forward motion on the ground over on this front as well. Team 1 operating from an ever-diminishing sphere of influence, now really holed up in the corner up here. The last extending tendrils of their territory being swatted away by a heavily shield contingent of T3 units from Battle Moose down here. We've got this fat boy raining down fire on the fringes of Storm's base. Another megalith from Knightley gets taken out from the restorers, which have really earned their keep in this game from Arch. Checking in on what's been going on in the background though, it has to be mentioned, while we've had a lot of successes on the ground back here, major shield capitulation to the artillery strikes, which have been continuously raining down on Team 2's bases. Unfortunately for them, Deponi still has all 3 of his Novax satellites. We have got one counter Novax belonging to Heya, which is assisting these artillery pieces, which really are doing a lot of good work thinning out this infrastructure, but the sheer quantity of forward pressure on the ground leads me to believe this is going in one direction. Unless they get some real quality wins, maybe get lucky with another com kill from this T3 artillery. And it's not out of the question. Certainly stranger things have happened, what with all of the turnarounds we see on this channel. Deponi still trying to breach through those shields to take out the T3 artillery installation, which hasn't let up in its unyielding barrage and bombardment. Teleport commander's going pop over here. Nearly bags a comm kill. Vodka's lost his shield on his commander. And that's another base in absolute ruin. I don't know, you know, maybe if they could just hold out long enough, maybe the artillery might win out here. It would be quite the comeback if he could manage it. Broadsword's trying to take down this defending Colossus, getting shooed away now by Archer's Restorers. Broadswords might have them beat on damage output, air to ground, but they're no match for the Restorers in the air.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke out from Arch. Where's it going this time? It's going straight after Depony. Depony's comm nearby that attack ping, but we've lost another comm there for Team 1. Donut running riot. The nuke isn't going to get through. Donut going straight after Arch now. Even if it gets shot down, it's going to do a lot of damage to either the comm or the surrounding area. Lands straight next to Arch. Arch manages not to get taken down by it. Starts work on a shield, and now we really are in desperation mode. As you can see, the tele-snipe is underway. Peeper upgrading the teleporter on the comm. The question is whether or not they'll actually get there. The capitulation is coming hard and fast right now. Oh! Arch completes his shield in the nick of time, just as those Novak satellites start to singe his comms armor. And with the demise of this base over here after that donut attack, they've lost some of that artillery pressure. I think they're down to just this Duke now, maybe. No, there's a Duke and an emissary further back belonging to Arch. But with a megalith breaching breaching up through the middle, surely it won't be long before that Duke goes down. Another nuke, but this time out from Team 2, and Flatbread Jesus going straight after what's left of that edge base belonging to Peeper. Lots of T1 spam coming up the middle towards this main base now. Peeper's original base now awash with nuclear fire. That teleporter almost done, but I think so is Team 1. And so does Arch as he control Ks and bows out. GG's going out. Is Peeper going to stick around for the tele-snipe attempt? He might as well. It's now complete. He still has to charge it, of course. 98% done. Has he even got the power now? He has got the power, but for how much longer is that ion reactor's getting homed in on?
Attack.
Upgrade complete. Teleport attempt underway. Who's he going for is the question. Can we see Depony with oodles of plasma cannons all around his comm? He's spotted the potential danger. Teleport charging about 55% done, maybe 60, charging pretty fast now. Heya 19's base about to fall. There he goes. Have we had the teleport? Where's he gone? There he is. Peeper going after Knightley. Does manage to take him with. So Knightley doesn't survive to the end, but 4 players do. Battle Moose to Pony, Flatbread Jesus and Vodka emerge victorious. And there we have it. What a game. Almost 50 minutes long, so actually not that long for an epic. but certainly had most of the toys. Just missing a game ender, really. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Don't forget, if you've seen everything and you still want more, there is, of course, the premium content available on the Patreon. It's a mere $1 a month. Can't say fairer than that. I think we've got some 32 or 33 casts up there now, more being added every week or every other week. So go and check that out, guys. Every single donation, every single subscriber helps me out massively. Also, don't forget what we mentioned at the beginning, guys. Please, please, please consider launching games in FAF beta and report any bugs to the relevant authorities. But until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.